that for all of them?
Yeah, so no, not at all. You're not going to create, this is the beauty of it, right? So instead of one of us doing a ton of work, right? Instead of me making, how many is that? 15, something like that, vocabulary words, making flashcards for them electronically or physical flashcards. We're going to do it as a class. And I'm even going to have all the sixth grade classes do it. And then eventually I'll use those flashcards in the future. And I'll probably take, like, the one that I like the most from, if there's two or three of one, to use for the future. So instead of one of us doing a ton of work, we're all going to each do one of them. And it'll be a lot easier. And then we're going to put that class set of vocabulary flashcards together and use that for learning, for games, and for looking at and learning the words. So that's what we're gonna do. So what I want you to do is choose one word, and don't want you all to choose the same word. So why don't we do this? I'm going to. Well, I don't even know if we can get on Schoology. It was down.
Yeah.
Anyone know if it's still up?
It's working for me.
Okay, I'm going to put an update or a class discussion for you to comment on real quick. And then you can just type in your word, and that way it'll be like first come, first serve. So if we get some doubles, then we'll just ask you to put something else. So I will add a discussion. It'll be on the main page. And wrong way. rperteileI. All right, so choose one word from the vocab list to make a flashcard for. All right, and then I won't put that yet. And then what I'll do is I'll take a picture of that and post it to this so the e-learners can have the list from there. So refresh your page, see if you can find that discussion, and then post what word you would like to do. And I'm going to take a picture here of this for the e-learners.
Where would be the discussion?
So go to German class, and it should be on the main page if I did it right.
Oh, yeah.
Found it? Wunderbar. Okay. All right, in the meantime, if you're done that, please go to Google Slides. If you haven't already, open a new tab, and you're going to create a new slide presentation. And if you need, does anyone need help with how to do that? So you can just open a new tab, go to the waffle over here, and then slides looks like that. Click on that slides, and then create a new presentation. All right, so you can do a blank presentation. Okay. And is everybody at this point? So I'm not going to need to look at that discussion. So when you refresh that page, just make sure nobody chose the body part that you chose before you. And if no one did, then you're fine. That's the vocabulary word that you'll do. But I don't need to go check that at this point because you can see the discussion and everyone's comments. You just have to refresh your page in Schoology. All right. But in the meantime, let's start to look at how we're going to create this vocabulary card. So is anybody not here on this tab right now with the new presentation? Okay, so title it der, because it's going to be singular, derKo. Oops. All right, and now that the O with the umlaut, you can get that in a couple ways. The easiest, I think, is to turn your I don't know if you have to turn your Chromebook into a tablet. And then if you hold the letter O, it'll give you an option to put the two dots above it. If you hold the O when you're typing on the keyboard, it will give you, I think it's like 4 or 5 different options, and you'll see the two dots and you can put that above. Otherwise,
9 options.
did you find it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Otherwise, if you don't have those options, you can just put an O and an E. Is the same thing as an O with the umlaut. Okay. The other way to do it is to go to Google Translate, look up the word, and then copy and paste the word or copy and paste the letter. I think there's a shortcut with your Chromebooks. I know there is with my Mac, but I'm not sure, like with the keys, what the shortcut would be if there is one with the Chromebook.
For what?
To make that to make the O with the umlaut. When you're finished that, and I'll take my time here so in case anybody's still catching up, you're going to click File, and then all the way down, the third from the bottom, click on Page Setup. And what we're going to do is change the layout so that the slide is the same shape as a sheet of paper. All right, so we're going to go to Custom. So Page Setup, and then Custom. Everybody with me? Where are you at? Yeah. All right, so click File, and then go all the way down to Page Setup, and then from the drop down, click Custom. Aubrey.
My thing is small.
Oh well, just go back to Page Setup. We're gonna change it to. Let me see what you got there. Go to Custom. That's strange. Was it like that when you first opened the presentation?
No, I just changed the title and then I just went like that.
That's very strange. Let's see what happens when you put an 8 by 13. 8 by 13 and then click Apply. And this should look like that. 8.
Yeah.
Okay, good. 8 by 13 and then click Apply. After that, we're going to get rid of those two boxes there. So you're going to click Layout that's underneath Add-ons. And then if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see Blank. And click on Blank. So right underneath Add-ons, click Layout. And then scroll all the way down until you see Blank. Yep, great. All right, so now, did anybody choose, because I'm going to try to choose one that somebody did not choose. Did anyone choose Dinaza? Dinaza? Okay, good. So I'll use the example for Dinaza, all right? So first we can find a picture because we might want to change the size of our text depending on the picture. And actually, our vocabulary card can have more than one picture. All right, so I might have a few different types of noses. Like I might choose a human nose, but then I might choose Gonzo. Was Gonzo from Sesame Street or something? Or from the Muppets, I think.
Yeah.
And you know how he has like a huge nose? I might choose something like that. So you can choose different representations, and that way your brain's connecting Dinaza with different types of noses. That's going to help you remember it more than, again, if we just say Dinaza and then write nose there. Trust me, it's not effective to just write the English word next to a word of a language you're trying to learn and remember it that way. It's very ineffective. So what I'll do to make it easy to pull pictures in here is go to Insert. All right, so up in your toolbar, 3 to the right of File, click Insert, and then the first one says Image, and you're going to click Search from Web. Search from Web. And so that way, instead of opening a new tab, finding an image, and then saving that image to my downloads, and then going back to my document, and then clicking insert image, upload from computer, get it from my downloads, this is going to pull it straight from the internet onto our page. The only thing is, when you search from web, I think it's a little more limited because it shows you only Google images, but I'm not 100% sure about that. I don't know how limited it is. Um, but in any case, you can also search from another tab if you're not finding what you want and see if you can find something. But since we're just doing body parts, this should be like way good enough for our purpose. So I'm going to search nose and just see what comes up first. Of course, I'm going to get a bunch of literal. See, that's funny because that's like a cat nose. But it could be like a cuter cat nose, right? But that gives me the idea. I'm gonna look up cat nose in a bit after I scroll through these to see if there's one I want to take. And you could put a really gross one if you want, because that will probably make an impression. We want to make an impression, right? If you think about what an impression is, it's an imprint of something in our minds. So if we have an impression, and if you use something that's gross, that's going to make quite an impression, imprinted in our minds with the vocabulary word you're trying to learn. Then you might have a better chance at remembering it. All right, so I'm gonna look up cat nose because I want to find a. See, and that's what I like, because now I have the idea to look up different animal noses. Like that looks like a dog nose, I think. So I'm gonna look up different animal noses. So it doesn't have to be a human nose, right?
No.
Because we know what a nose is. We can make the connection without it being a human nose. And then I'll pull that anywhere on my slide. And then I'm gonna go click insert image, search the web again to look for another one. I'll look up, let's say, I want to look up Gonzo's nose. See if anything comes up. Oh, nothing came up there. Let's see if I just look up Gonzo. Nope, Gonzo Muppet. All right, there he is. That's a big nose. So what I can do, if I wanted to get fancy, and I'll see if it'll work, I can take a screenshot of just his nose and then insert that. But there's got to be a better picture. Let's just try it. So I'm going to make it bigger. I'm going to take a screenshot. All right. Then I'm going to erase that photo. Then I'm going to go to insert image from my computer. And for you, it'll be in your downloads if you choose to do one this way. Like that. Huh. I mean, you get the idea. You can play with it and
So the whole thing's gonna be filled with pictures.
yeah, and I mean you can get creative if there's different examples of that. What kind of examples can you find of that body part? So this doesn't have to be done by the end of class. You could go home and start looking on the web, find different ideas with different pictures, and then take your time with it. It doesn't have to be done by the end of class. I have to put a scary clown in there because clowns are very scary. And I'm just gonna find one more picture.